Welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new, I'm Kat. Before we get started into the video, don't forget to hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe down below. And so as you guys can see, today's story time is gonna be a little juicy one. I waited for this one for me to get my chamoy. I've been on a hunt for chamoy, you guys, and I could not find it, and I finally found it at Fusco. So shout out to Fusco coming through. And I also got some what are these called? I think they're called ruedas. Good. Alright, I got some chamoy. Oh, I forgot my tajin. I knew I was forgetting something. Hold on. Alright, we got everything we need. So before we start, let's get our modelos ready and our chips ready because it's about to be good. I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm acting like I don't know. But it sounds so good with chamoy and tajin. Oh, that looks fire. Yes. Our modelo's ready. Now we gotta get the tapatio for the chips. Ooh. Everything's sizzling. Let's try this before we get into it. Cheers. Cheers. It's strawberry chamoy. So good. Alright, so today's story time is going to be about my very first tattoo. A long time ago. It was 10 years ago. It's crazy. I was like 15, 16. I don't even know where to start. Where do I start? Alright, so let's start with, I was a freshman in high school. I feel so weird. Let me take a chug of this. Hold on. Let me drink this beer actually. Alright. So this story starts a long time ago. No. I was a freshman in high school, and I started going out with this. Well, it was like towards the end of my freshman year. We started going out like the last week of school into summer, and I was a freshman, and my boyfriend at the time was my ex-boyfriend. I don't even know what to call it. He was a junior about to be a senior. So we started going out and whatever. We were together that whole summer and his whole senior year, so we were together that whole year. And then once it came time for him to graduate, okay, so once he was gonna graduate, obviously we like talked about like what was gonna happen or whatever. And he was like, oh, I still want to be with you, and I was like, I guess so. He ended up going to a school like an hour away in San Jose. So I ended up going to San Jose State, and I think I was like a sophomore now. Wait, no, hold on. So we started going out at the end of my freshman year. I was a junior now. And I was a junior, and he was in college. And I don't know. I don't even know. I don't even know how this happened, you guys. Like I'm even still trying to think about it. But okay, so basically, I remember being in class, and I was in, like, I don't even know what period it was. I just remember being in class, and I had it was so long ago. I think I still had the sidekick. And I remember in class I had gotten a message, and I had like gotten my purse out into my bag, and I like opened my phone because I wanted to like see what it was. And I remember when I opened my phone, it was a picture of a stencil of, so it was just a stencil on someone's like what is this called? I don't know, a forearm or wrist, on the wrist. Why did you just call it a forearm? In the wrist. It was a stencil of my name on someone's wrist, and it was from my boyfriend, or my ex-boyfriend. And I remember being like, what the fuck? And I freaked out, you guys. Like as soon as I opened it and I realized what it was, I literally grabbed all my shit and I walked out of the classroom. And my teacher was like, like, where are you going? And I was just like, I gotta go, like it's emergency. I remember leaving, and I was just freaking out, and I was like, what the fuck? So I'm calling him. Sorry you guys, my memory was full. Where was I? Oh yeah, so I walked out of class. So I remember freaking out, you guys. I was freaking out at this point, and I was like, what the hell's going on? So I'm trying to call him. So I'm calling him. Someone else picks up the phone, and they're like, oh, what's up? And I'm like, who's this, you know? And he's like, oh, like it's his friend. And I was like, well, where is he? And he was like, oh, he's getting tattooed right now. And I was like, is he getting my name? And he was like, hold on, let me put you on speaker. So I'm just like, oh fuck, he's already doing it. I'm just like, damn, like there was nothing, you guys. I didn't even like, no clue, nothing like, oh, I'm gonna get your name, or I'm gonna go get a tattoo. I didn't even know anything. It was just all of a sudden I got a text, and it was a picture. All right, so he puts me on speaker, and I'm just like, hey, like what are you doing? And he's like, I'm getting a tattoo. And I was like, are you getting my name? And he was like, yeah. And he was like, why should I not? And I was just like, well, I mean, I don't know. It's like, if you want to, like that's always been my freaking word, if you want to. Like I'm never like telling nobody what to do. It's always if you want to. So I remember being like, I don't know if you want to. And he was like, well, I'm doing it already. And I was like, nah, you're playing. Like I didn't believe it. I was like, nah. I was like, you're hella lying. Like you just told him to do it, like a little stencil for you or whatever, right? And he was like, no, I'm really getting it. And I was like, yeah, whatever, okay, yeah. So I remember, like, whatever, I don't know how the conversation ended, but we got off the phone, and he texted me, and he was like, I'm gonna go to the city later. And usually, like, when he was in college, we didn't see each other all the time. Like, we would only see each other like sometimes on the weekends, sometimes not. So he was like, I'm going to the city right now. Oh, I'm gonna go to the city right after. And I was like, what the hell? Like, he's coming to the city. It was like a Tuesday, I don't know. And it was like in the middle of the week. And I was like, what the hell is coming to the city? So I remember he calls me and he's like, hey, like I'm gonna be there by the time you get out of class, like out of school. And I was just like, oh shit, okay. And I remember every class went by so slow. I was just like, oh my god. Like 3 o'clock just felt like hella long. So finally, I get out of class. He's there, already waiting for me outside my classroom, because he used to go to the school, so he basically knew where the hell everything was and waiting for me. And I see him, and he has like a band-aid. You know those things that they wrap, you when you're done getting a tattoo. I had one right here, and he had one like right here. I was just like, what the hell? So whatever, he picks me up and we leave, and he shows me my name tattooed on his wrist. And I was just like, what? Like I didn't even know what to say. Like I was just like, what the hell? Like it didn't even give me a chance to like talk about it or like convince him not to do that, you know, nothing. It was just like surprise, I got your name. And I was just like, what the hell? And I think like my reaction wasn't what he expected, because I remember him getting like really mad. And he got so mad, and he was just like, what? Like I shouldn't have gotten it, huh? Like all of a sudden it was just like I shouldn't have gotten it. And I was just like, what do you mean you just got it? Like how, what do you mean you shouldn't have gotten it? And he was just like, yeah, like you don't like it or something like that. And I was just like, I mean, I like it, I wasn't expecting it, you know. So I don't know what happened. He had my name, I think that was like a Tuesday, I think it was like a Tuesday or Wednesday, because our conversations changed right after he got that tattoo. Right after he got that tattoo, he was like, so when are you getting my name? And I was just like, hold on, I never agreed to like get your name. It was never my plan. And like he would like, I don't know, I would just like get messages, and he would be like, well, like if you don't get my name tattooed by this Friday, I'm gonna go get your name covered or something like that. And I was young, you guys. I was young, and I was just like, what the fuck, he's gonna get my name off? Like he just got it, like hell nah. So I remember telling my best friend Jenny, you guys know Jenny, and I remember telling her, and I was like, hey, like I need someone to tat me up. Like she had the plug on everything, so I was like, I know you got somebody, right? And she was like, yeah, I know somebody. So she gives me this person's number, and I text them, and they're basically asking me like, what do you want? And I told them like I want to get this person's name, and oh my god. And I remember he even told me like, are you sure you want to get like someone's name? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, all right, cool, as long as you know, like you know what you're doing. And I was like, yeah. So I remember, I think he charged me like $40. Like it was hella cheap. I mean, it was expensive back then, but it was like kind of cheap now. So it was like 40 bucks. And he was like, yeah, you can come by this Friday. So I remember telling like my boyfriend at the time, like, yeah, I'm gonna get your name this Friday. And like I thought it was hella cool. And he was like, what, you really gonna get it? Like how did you find somebody? And I was just like, man, don't trip, like I know people, you know. Like I thought it was hella cool. So let me eat some more, hold on. Babe, okay, Trippy was busy. He's playing Fortnite. Okay, so I thought I was hella cool, right? So I remember I was hella young, you guys, and I was still living with my mom and my dad. Like my mom and my dad were still together and still living together. Anyways, so that was when my parents were still together and they were still living together. So I remember, I was still hella young, so like once it started getting closer to like the day that I was, dude, like, okay, like this is how serious it was, okay? I was gonna get tattooed by him during school hours because obviously I couldn't go after school because my parents didn't really let me go out like that. So I had to like basically plan this and like cut class and like know which class I was gonna leave and come back by, and I had to have my money, you know. So it was just like, it was hella shit. So I remember like I think it took me like a couple days. I had everything, right? So the day comes that I have to get my tattoo, and I was so nervous that I texted my sister Ashley. And Ashley, you guys know my sister Ashley, she was supposed to be here telling this story with me, but she couldn't make it, so cheers to Ash. But she a real one, because I remember that day that I was gonna go get tatted, I texted her, and my sister was like, she's what, 3 years apart from me. She was probably like 13, she's probably 12. She was hella young. I remember I texted her and I was like, hey, I'm gonna get a tattoo. And she was like, what are you gonna get? And I was like, I'm gonna get this guy's name. And she was like, are you sure? I can't even remember. I think I remember her being like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, you can't tell mom. And I was just like, you know, you can't tell dad. And I was like, you know, it's gonna be a secret or whatever, right? And she was like, yeah, okay. I'm so mean putting my little sister into this. But I remember I'm going to this, it was at a house, it was at a person's house, you guys. Oh my god, don't do what I did, please. Don't go to nobody's house and get tatted. Wait till you're of age. So I was going to somebody's house with my best friend, and she was like, I'm gonna get a tattoo too. So she was like, so you're not the only one getting a tattoo by yourself, right? So I was like, all right, cool. Like, it made me feel better. So I remember the whole way I'm like, I'm texting him and I'm telling him like, I'm about to go get your name tatted. Like, boy, I thought I was like doing something like, I mean, it is something big for you to go get your someone's name tattooed on your body. Like, I wasn't thinking of it. Like, I was thinking I was gonna go get like a shirt made. Like, I was making it seem like I was gonna go get something that I could rep for a little bit, you know what I mean? I didn't know that this thing is about to be on me forever. So I go to this person's house. It's a guy doing his tattoo. He has all his kids in the house. He has his baby mama there. He takes me to the room. Me and all my friends. I remember I went with like 2 other friends. My best friend and two other people, I think. I don't know. So we're sitting on a bed. And he was like, this is what I got sketched out for you. And the letters were hella big. That I told him I wanted it on my wrist because I basically wanted the same thing he wanted. I basically sent him what he got tatted to him so that way he could do the same lettering, and like I basically wanted it to look exactly the same. So he shows me a stencil, and the stencil's hella big. Like, my wrist is hella small. Like, my wrist is so tiny. So the stencil he had was like hella big. So he was like, damn, it's not gonna fit on your wrist. He was like, I think you're gonna have to do it the other way, like this way. And I was like, what? And I was just kind of like, fuck. Like, I really wanted it on my wrist, you know? And like, he wasn't that good. And he was like, yeah, if you want it on, like, if you want me to make it smaller, like, you're not gonna be able to do it today. Like, you're gonna have to come back, basically, because he was gonna have to redo it and it was gonna take him a while or whatever. And I was just so impatient, and I was just like, no, like, it's fine. Like, I'll just do it how you said. Like, I'll just turn it over. So he's just like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah. So he shows me the clean needle, okay, you guys? So don't think that like I was being that dumb and I was just letting him tattoo me, okay? So he showed me everything was clean. He was sterilizing everything right in front of me. And he starts tattooing me. And when he starts tattooing me, you guys, it was the worst pain ever. Like, I wanted to cry so bad. So basically I got it right here underneath this rose. And it hurt really bad, and it took about, I would say like 30 minutes. I don't know, it took like 30 minutes, and when he was done, he cleaned it, he wrapped it for me, and he was like, all right, you're good. So I got this name tatted on me, and I had to make my way back to school and act like I was at school all day. So I remember just like looking at it, and I was just like, damn, like I got a tattoo on my arm. Like I didn't have none of this other stuff, okay? So it was just like a name just right there. And I was just like looking at it, and I was just like, fuck, I can't believe I did that, like the whole time. And I remember just like, I don't know, I feel like I felt hella different, you know, like I didn't feel like me anymore. I don't know, it's a weird thing to explain. I remember I got his name tattooed. That was on a Friday. He was coming back for the weekend, so came back that day. And I remember I was basically hiding it from my parents, so I was like wearing like sweaters all the time, or like long sleeves, so they didn't even, my mom and my dad didn't even know. So I remember I was able to go out that night, and he took me to his family's house, took me to his auntie's house, and he was like, yeah, look, like she got my name tattooed. So I'm like showing his whole family like I'm a little ass girl. I'm not even old enough to get a tattoo. And when we were showing everybody, I got his name tatted on me. And everybody was just like, what the hell? Like, are you sure? Like, damn, you guys are crazy. Or like, you know, just like saying hella shit. And I remember just being like, I didn't even know what to say half the time. Like, I was just like, yeah, like I got it. So time went by. I got it, I had it. My parents still didn't know. He was happy, and I was just like, whatever. I mean, we had each other's names tatted on each other at this point, so it was just like, what could I do? But once it healed, the tattoo was ugly. It was horrible, you guys. Like, it didn't even look like it said the name that it was supposed to say. People thought it said love, and I was cool with that. I was like, cool, it don't even look like I got his name. Like, I could just pass it off as it just says love. So you guys are probably wondering, like, how long were you able to hide it from your parents? I think I hid that tattoo for about 3 months before my mom found out. And the only reason why she found, well, it wasn't the only reason, it was hella obvious. The reason why she found out was because I was wearing hoodies and sweaters all the time. And I remember I gave it away. I gave it away when we went, like, my mom and my dad used to always go to like the San Jose flea market on the weekend. So I remember she was like, oh, we're going to the flea market today. And it's always hella hot. So I was like, fuck, like, how am I gonna hide this? And I was just thinking, like, what am I gonna wear? What am I gonna wear? Like, I usually wear like tank tops and shorts, you know, like, and I was like, fuck, I can't wear a tank top, like they're gonna see my arm. So I remember wearing a long sleeve. I put on a freaking long sleeve and some shorts, which doesn't make any sense. So I remember putting a long sleeve on, and we went to San Jose, and like, it didn't look weird. The long sleeve that I put on was hella thin and it was gray, so it kind of didn't look like like, what the hell, she must be hella hot, because it was super thin. So I remember when we were out there, I got really hot in my long sleeve because it was really hot. So I remember I got hella hot and I only put one of my sleeves up. That's what gave it away. I put one of my sleeves up, and obviously I couldn't put this one up because I had it. So I remember I kept this one down. So I was walking around with one sleeve up and one sleeve all the way down. And I got home, whatever, we bought whatever, and I remember I went home and my mom came into my room and she was like, let me see your arms. And the reason why she didn't, like, my mom didn't think I had a tattoo. Like, she was more worried about me because I was already known for like self-harming and things like that. So, and I'll explain that in another video, but so she was worried and she was like, what the fuck, she's doing that again. So she wanted to make sure, I guess. So she was like, let me see your arms. So I remember I like lifted it only to like up to here. Like I literally just showed her my wrists. And she was like, no, lift up your whole arms. And I was like, fuck. And like my mom, when she's mad, like there's no say no. Like I had to do it. So I lifted my arms and she saw my tattoo and she was like, are you fucking serious? And I was just like, I didn't know what to say. Like I was just like, I don't know. And she was just like, well, you're gonna have to tell your dad. And she was like, because I'm not telling him. She's like, I'm not gonna tell your dad. And she was like, that's on you. And she's like, you wanted to go and do that stupid shit, so you go tell him. And I was like, fuck. And I was like, nah, I don't want to. And she was like, fine. And I was like, can he tell him, like, because I wanted him to be there with me. So she was like, fine. So I remember it was the next day and he ends up coming over, and my dad didn't know because my dad was working all the time, so my dad didn't really know what was going on. So my dad was in the room and I knocked on the door. We both knocked on the door and my dad was just like, what the fuck, like what is he doing here? Why is she walking in here with him? Like I'm pretty sure my dad thought I was pregnant. So whatever, we go into the room and I was just like, Dad, like we got something to tell you. And he was like, what? And I was like, we got each other's names tattooed on us. And he was just like, what? And he was like, let me see. So I showed it to him. He was like, did you get this done by a professional? And I was like, no. He was like, why not? And he was like, he basically just started giving me a whole lecture about like, if you guys really want to do this, you should have told me and we would have taken you somewhere if that was what you really wanted to do. We all know that wasn't true. And I remember I was just like, fuck. Now everybody knows. And it was an ugly tattoo on top of that. So my dad was just like, that's not even nice. My dad was getting on me. He was like, they don't even look nice. Like, he was like, you just ruined your body. So I remember being just like, fuck. It wasn't a good thing. And I ended up basically getting the tattoo covered. It is now a rose. I don't know, I'm gonna give you guys a better look. It's now a rose. And I actually got this covered while we were still together. Like me and the person that I got his name tatted on me, we were still together when I got the name covered. The reason why I got it covered was because the tattoo was ugly. It was super ugly and I didn't like it. So I remember I got it covered and I kind of just told him like, I don't want to have your name tattooed on me, and it was just something that we agreed to. So it was something that was left like that. And I think at this point I'm done getting names. Don't want nobody's name anymore. I'm cool with just the stuff that I have. I don't even plan on getting any more tattoos right now because I feel like I do things just like without thinking through, you know. So I feel like I really need to think about the next thing that I want and make sure that it's something that I know I want forever. So yeah, that's my story time. I'm dumb as hell. Yeah, that's the old me. I'm sure there's people that can relate, maybe not, but I just thought I'd share this with you guys. I'm pretty turned. I'm on my second one. I'm gonna try to chug this with you guys before we end this video. It's too cold. But yeah, hope you guys like this video. Let me know what other story times you guys want to hear down below. I got a lot for you guys. I know this one was gonna catch a lot of people off guard because you guys probably weren't expecting me to get someone's name tattooed on me. I don't know, it's not me, but I learned from it, I grew from it. So if you guys have a similar situation, you guys almost did it, you guys didn't, you guys got it covered, let me know your situation down below. I love you guys. Thank you guys again for supporting me on my channel. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.